This will be an ultimate guide to Gengar, one of my favorite Pokemon in the entire game, a special attack speedster that has insane playmaking and outplay potential. This guide will cover both builds, first a Dream Eater Shadow Ball and also Hex and Sludge Bomb. Nothing else works, only those two moveset combinations work. If you ever misclick, it's going to be one of the most miserable times you will ever have playing Pokemon Night, so make sure you don't misclick when picking a Gengar. Gengar can be played in top and bot path, but mainly will be played in central area. Dream Eater Shadow Ball is much better in central area, while Hex and Sludge Bomb can also go quite good in top and bot path. For emblems and items, both builds have different ways of playing it. First, Dream Eater Shadow Ball. For emblems, I go for this full special attack page right here, 31.5 special attack, because it's all about one-shotting with the eject button and with Spoon, Choice Specs, and Special Specs. Now for Hex, we change out this for this one right here. We go 7 black, 6 green, because Hex wants current reduction. We use not eject button, but full here. But you can also use eject button if you're more comfortable using it. Also totally fine. But full here is the preferred choice. And then for head items, we switch out special specs for a Shell Bell for more cooldown reduction. You can also switch out this for Vice Glasses, but doesn't really matter all too much. But yeah, we just do Shell Bell for more cooldown reduction, because again, for Hex, it's actually quite important. First, we're going to start with our boost auto attack, because if you go for central area, you can basic attack air twice, build up a boosted auto attack, and jump across this wall. It's going to save you some time walking around, so it's going to make, confuse your allies maybe less on where you're going. And so yeah, the boost auto attack, as you can see, is a jump. So on all evolutions, it can jump over. And you can also use this for a, good outplay potential, or just getting across walls. So we have Ghastly, level 1 to level 3, or level 1 to level 5. We're going to be on the first evolution. We have Will-O-Wisp, which in case you go top or bot path, will be your main last hitting tool, does damage and burns. And then we have Lick, which is a bit of a stun or like a pull-in right here. A small hook, if you want to say so. And this one also gives you a boosted auto attack. So in case you go for, for this right here, let's say you go for bot path, right, you want to lane here, you can always lick things into tall grass as well and have them out of vision, and then use your Will-O-Wisp for last hitting. So it doesn't make Gengar honestly too bad in lane. Also very short for Gengar's passive, you pretty much just have a glorified float stone. You can see on the bottom right now, movement speed increased. If we hit something or get hit, it goes away. So yeah, Gengar's passive is just a float stone. Not the greatest, but will still help us to set up certain combos and also help us get around the map. On level 5, you get Dream Eater or Hex. Let's first talk about the Dream Eater build with a Shadow Ball. So Dream Eater is a skill shot in a direction, and once we hit it, the enemy is going to fall asleep. And then we can press it again, and we can port towards the one Pokemon we hit. It can get blocked, so it can only hit one target. The white Pokemon, as we can see, it doesn't go through it. It will get blocked by Dream Eater. Dream Eater also does multiple things. It also gives us a boost auto attack twice. First on the first thing right here. So if we use Dream Eater, we get a boost auto attack, which we want to use. We can port, and then we get another boost auto attack. At the same time, it also resets our other move. So let me put on some cooldowns. So we have Will-O-Wisp, we're going to use it. Dream Eater, we port, and you see our Will-O-Wisp gets a 2-second less cooldown. Very important to know, especially for early game gangs, what you want to do. This is your max combo right here. Will-O-Wisp, or you Dream Eater first, whatever you want, it doesn't really matter. Dream Eater first, you do a Will-O-Wisp boost auto attack, you port, boosted auto attack, Will-O-Wisp. This will be also later for Shadow Ball, and this is going to be your max damage combo. So level 7, we pick up Shadow Ball. Again, make sure you don't misclick, because if you go Sludge Bomb, it's going to be a terrible experience. Shadow Ball, another skill shot similar to Dream Eater, has pretty much the same range, yeah? It has that on the same range. So pretty much the same ability, just does something else. This one, it does damage, and it can pierce a white Pokemon. You can see right here, it's going to go through the white Pokemon, but it can't pierce enemy Pokemon. So right here, this one's not going to pierce, but you can go through white Pokemon. It's going to reduce the special defense of enemies, and also slow, and just does damage in general. It's going to be just a damage tool, but yeah, we have a slow, and we also reduce a bit of special defense. But Spoon is still good, so it's like a flat reduce, so Spoon is still totally fine, because Shadow Ball, unlike Hyper Voice, for example, doesn't have a percentage special defense reduce, only a flat one. So, very straightforward then, right? We hit level 7, we can either look for a Dream Eater first, out of, if the enemy's on a vision on us, right here, let's out of the bush. If we're in a bush, right, we do Dream Eater, we do Shadow Ball, we port, we boost our attack, and we Shadow Ball, and hopefully have a KO. If we are closer to someone, just earlier, like I said, we do Dream Eater, then we do Shadow Ball first, boosted auto attack because we do special defense, which means our boost auto attack does more damage. We port boosted auto attack Shadow Ball, or Shadow Ball boost auto attack as well again. But often, again, it has like, you can see it. If I do it fast, you can see right now Shadow Ball is still on cooldown, so often you have more time for the boosted auto attack first, and then you do the Shadow Ball. If someone is like running away, you can also Shadow Ball first because it slows them. I can guarantee your Dream Eater, and then you want to jump and do all this damage. That's pretty much all there is to it. And then Dream Eater also gives us a reset on KOs, but only Dream Eater. Let me see if I can find the bot somewhere. Not sure if it went down. I think it just went down somewhere. But Dream Eater, the main mechanic it has is that it has a reset. I can't really find the bot right now. It doesn't really matter. So if you get a KO, Dream Eater gets fully reset, but not Shadow Ball, just to make sure. But you have to also get the KO. If one of your allies gets it, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter with what damage you get the KO, as long as you get a KO, and then Dream Eater gets fully reset to 0-second cooldown. Another short trick I want to showcase, you can also with Dream Eater jump across walls. For example, you just kept Rayquaza, you want to not walk this way, you want to get to the goal in a safe way, you can Dream Eater this, and if you jump over, you will always end across the wall. You can do the same here if you find the right angle. This one might be sometimes more difficult, but if you find the right angle, you can just jump across from here over the Baltoy, over the wall. Dream Eater has a bit more range, and you can try to find like ways on the map where you can jump across walls with this as well. Now let's talk about the other moveset. First, we get Hex at level 5, and this is why I say it can top a bot path, because it's already quite strong at level 5. Let me put on cooldowns. So, Hex works. First Hex is a dash in a direction that is AoE damage once it lands. You can see it has a 7-second cooldown, which is like, oh, that's quite high of a cooldown, right? We use it right here. It does a bit of damage, really not all too much either, and then it goes on a long cooldown. So, if you hit Hex on an enemy target that has a status effect, Hex gets a huge cooldown reduction reset pretty much. So, Will-O-Wisp burns, right? Use Hex now, you can see it goes down to 0.4 seconds, 0.3. And this can even get lower the more cooldown reduction you have. The lower it can go until 0.1 seconds, so you can pretty much just spam it on cooldown. But yeah, you can see as soon as Will-O-Wisp runs out, right, the burn, it goes back on the full cooldown, so you gotta be careful in early game, not to, use it too much, but you can use it to escape, to engage, like, and you just wanna kind of spam it, but you have to be careful. So you kind of want to spam it, right? You kind of want to auto-aim, so you always have to be careful that enemies are not around, because then, if you have targeting, it can go somewhere else. So usually, if you have someone singled out, you will just spam Hex, right? You will just spam Hex as much as you can. For example here, you're just gonna spam Hex to do this objective, you're gonna auto-aim to do as fast as possible, right? But then, if an enemy comes close, it might auto-aim onto them, right? So you gotta be very careful. At some point, you might have to start aiming it, which on Switch is a bit more difficult, right, to aim it. If you play on mobile, it should be much easier to aim it, and it's gonna help you quite a lot. Then at level 7 we have Sludge Bomb, which makes it much easier because Sludge Bomb lasts much longer with the poison on enemies. You can see right here it also does percentage damage and slows a bit, but you can see it lasts much longer, which just allows us for our Hex to just go much longer on someone without having to refresh it. But again, you have to be careful. Once the poison is gone, this will also just completely disappear. And then for last, we have the Unite move right here. We go underground, the enemies can't see us, they just see an icon. You can see this icon flame above them, they're now around you. And this is a great engaging tool onto a squishy. You want to do like this, and you can reactivate it as well and do a bit of damage. It's a great tool to, so you jump into team fight, right? And you can either use it, maybe something went wrong, you can just use it to reset and wait for your abilities again, and then one-shot someone, or you can use it very fast to go into a fight onto the enemy backline multiple ways. In this build, in Sludge Bomb packs, I would recommend to use it as like kind of a disengage tool. So after you jump in, maybe got someone, you want to use Unite, reposition, maybe wait for your Hex cooldown. And for the other build, I would just always try to maybe Unite move onto, maybe the enemy range carry with the Dream Eater Shadow Ball, or you also do the same. You look for a reset, and if you have one reset, you press Unite to look for the next KOs directly after. All the Pluffs moves, they're kinda pretty boring. So Shadow Ball, just more damage. We have Sludge Bomb, just a bigger area duration, also lasts longer, which means you can Hex a bit longer enemies on level 13. On Dream Eater, we have also more damage and more healing. Also, I forgot to mention, Dream Eater also heals. At the same time, when you get resets, you can also heal a bit. It's also quite nice. And then Hex has also increased damage on level 11. Unite move has 112-second cooldown. So that's also very important to know. So you can kind of use it a decent amount of times. And you can also see, because of the speedster, right, it gets 80% move speed. So you can always go towards enemies quite easily. Gengar also has Spell Vamp. You can see at level 5, Gengar gains 12.5 Spell Vamp, which also means if you hit moves on someone, you heal, based on how much damage your special attack moves have dealt. Now I'm gonna go over some Dream Eater and Shadow Ball gameplay first. Again, especially in early game, very important to always make use out of all your boost auto attacks, and also your Dream Eater resetting pretty much the other cooldown or other move by 2 seconds. So you can always do as much damage as possible staying away right now. Of course, we don't have all too much damage yet, but if you get Dream Eater reset, we can do a lot. If we get Dream Eater right here, looking for the next thing maybe already. Always make sure we get our boost auto attack in, like here, Dream Eater, boost auto attack, walk away a bit, then we can port, boost auto attack, Will-O-Wisp again, up, because Dream Eater again is resetting our Will-O-Wisp by a bit of a cooldown, and we get the KO. And this is what you have to do to really get those KOs in, and to start snowballing the game as Gengar. Can fast forward a bit, even when farming jungle, make sure you use your boost auto attacks, and the Dream Eater, boost auto attack, right, jump, boost auto attack, Shadow Ball. Didn't even have to use the second boost auto attack, of course you already do so much damage. Mid-Ataria is spawning now. Want to be here, of course. And I'm going to look for a KO instead. Here, the boost auto attack was a bit too far away, so I just used the port. But you can see that we used the Dream Eater on mute to also wait a bit before I use my Dream Eater again, just in case they have like some sort of ways to get away. Aim it here onto the wall turtle, we jump forward. And now we just try to use our boost auto attack. Here I'm waiting a bit for my next Shadow Ball, because again, Shadow Ball reduces also the cooldown, or no, reduces special defense of my opponents, which means that, you know, everything does more damage. Dream Eater does more damage, boost auto attacks do more damage, and here I'm running away again, waiting for my Shadow Ball cooldown into vision, and we get it done as well. Onto the Mewtwo, and I'm already looking for the next target already, and you can just see how many boost auto attacks I'm getting out. I want to play this a bit slower again, just so you guys understand. So Dream Eater right here, we activate it, we get it. I went for the Shadow Ball onto the NDD first, then we Dream Eater onto the Metang, we boost auto attack, and now I'm waiting for my Shadow Ball. Some basic attacking, now we have Shadow Ball, my Dream Eater will do more damage as well because of Shadow Ball, and we get him. Now, onto the Azumarill. So, we do Dream Eater, we have a boost auto attack, we do boost auto attack or Shadow Ball first into boost auto attack, then we port, we get another boost auto attack, we use it, and then we use our Shadow Ball or Unite move. I had to use Unite move right here, because otherwise I would have went down to Mewtwo. Reactivated, the boost auto attack gets Azumarill. Here, I use Dream Eater, I still do the boost auto attack, and now I run out of vision. Run away, I'm waiting for my Shadow Ball cooldown. He ports in, Shadow Ball, Dream Eater, boost auto attack, get the KO, get another reset for Dream Eater. You do Dream Eater right here, boost auto attack, and I'm still again waiting for my Shadow Ball like this, and then I Dream Eater, boost auto attack, he goes down. And here I'm very confident now that I have enough damage. Was almost not enough damage, needed one basic attack to get the KO, and there we go. And just again, Dream Eater, Shadow Ball, boost auto attack, Dream Eater, Shadow Ball, boost auto attack. And we get another KO into Azumarill right here. And now we can actually run away. Not gonna jump into this fight anymore. And we can just get ready for the objective. Not sure what our Curly is doing right here, having a bit of a break. And we're already level 10.5 now from this early game. Now we're can heal up a bit as well. Again, Dream Eater has very nice healing, so we can always sustain back up, which is also quite good, of course. And now we're gonna start maybe the objectives, still looking for pickoffs, and kind of want to wait for my Unite move maybe a bit before I go too aggressive. But we get a quick KO into War Turtle. And now I get pulled in, I don't have Unite move up, and we go down. This is how fast Gengar can still go down. That's what I mean, you have to be very careful. Doesn't matter what, so we can fast forward. As I'm respawning, I take my blue buff, and then we can head towards bot again. Maybe this time actually can get the objective. Potentially. Always looking for these Dream Eaters. Here I can't, of course, do boost auto attack. I tried to Dream Eater, but I was out of range. Now it works. I had to use my Unite move, because I was a bit too deep though. I'm waiting for my cooldowns, waiting for my Dream Eater cooldown. Dream Eater, Shadow Ball, Unite move. That's what you want to do against a Squishy. That you don't really want to use a boosted auto attack, because a Dream Eater, Shadow Ball into Unite move should always be enough damage. Or Dream Eater, Shadow Ball, you press Dream Eater again, Unite move should be enough damage. Aim it here onto Ninetales. Miss it onto Azumarill. But yeah, we can see we're very strong and now trying to dodge Aqua Tail a bit, but yeah. We're waiting for my cooldowns. Aim it patiently onto Azumarill. And now we have so much damage. I don't even have stacks either. I literally have 0 stacks that we don't even like need to do our boost auto attacks anymore. But the boosted auto attacks are super important to take down defender Pokemon and also just for early and mid game. But specifically early game, those boosted auto attacks have to be done or you're gonna miss out on a lot of damage. So I want to kind of stack right here. I'm kind of pinging my team to all move, and my entire team actually moves, so it's very impressive. Doesn't always happen in solo queue that the entire team responds to it. Ho-Oh didn't want to score though, fire spin, but we still get the goal with a 34 overcap as well, very nice. As we now wait for a Unite move. It's very difficult, if you're this high level, you should not go into fights without Unite move, that's just how it is. Trying to aim for Zoomer right here, but already goes down. As we now try to maybe break the next goal, I'm still looking for stacks. I know 9 hits was in this bush, how did I know again? I'm not map hacking, I swear. I think I saw 9 hits on the minimap. Oh no, I just guessed it. No, I saw 9 hits right here. I saw 9 hits walking in, just doing the bush, and you can see a Dream Eater Shadow Ball at this point is enough to take down 9 hits. I just need 2 moves. No boosted auto attacks, no second Shadow Ball. As long as I do Dream Eater into Shadow Ball and then port with Dream Eater, it is enough damage to take down someone like 9 hits already. So yeah, lots of damage. Already coming out. As we head towards this top goal, checking the bush with my Dream Eater and Shadow Ball. 9 hits again, walking out, Dream Eater, Shadow Ball, and this time I just need to boost auto attack and we get the KO. Jumping forward again, trying to hit my skill shots of course, trying to be patient. And as soon as you get a reset, always try to look already for your next target. You can see I was already aiming for Zoomeril again. After I'm already gotten the KO onto Metagross, I'm already looking for the next target. Use my Unite move here, 9 hits stunning itself in its Unite move. Take it down again, and suddenly I'm fully stacked as well. And we get the Regilegion. I eject button away right here, because I don't want to go down, and I was scared to maybe getting jump pad stunned by someone. And it was kind of close timing. And it actually almost happened. Now I'm 15. Pretty much any KOs I do now are kind of useless until Ray spawns. On Ray, of course, they're useful again. Right now, any KOs are kind of useless. Don't want to go too aggressive, too deep without my team being around. If I go down, it's a lot of experience. But we just aim for 9 hits right here. Again, Shadow Ball, Dream Eater. But you can see I'm not even going in because I'm kind of scared. Like, if I get future sighted into 5 enemies, but I hit a really nice Shadow Ball here onto the 9 hits that takes it down, I'm going to stay back a bit. I'm waiting a bit. As Unite moves, I go in and I follow up. So right now I'm just playing it very patiently if I can. Just waiting for any pickoffs that are like reasonable to go for. Dream Eater right here onto a Zoomeril. But I can't take this one. If I go for this one, I'm probably gone, so I'm not going to go for it. Just staying at range, throwing out Shadow Ball after Shadow Ball. Again, I'm just looking for angles for my Dream Eater. We get the KO here onto Mewtwo with the Shadow Ball. Metagross is a bit too far away, but they're still around. Trying to snipe him maybe. And Azumarill is going very aggressive. I could maybe jump on here, but it would be kind of scary. Kind of greedy, so I'm just going to recall. Enemies cannot do Ray yet. So we should be fine. Can reset. Gotta be full HP, right? To not just go down after the first reset. Even though, of course, Dream Eater heals. And I just want to play in tall grass. We want enemies like kind of face check into us. We can't really reach right now. Gotta be a bit careful. I always like to be in this bottom right tall grass if possible. You get pushed around a bit, and at some point I might just trigger my Unite move and look for some pickoffs. Like right here, I'm half HP. I'm going in. I'm getting hit by a lot. Being patient. Dream Eater, Shadow Ball, activate Unite move. Already aiming my next Dream Eater onto the 9 hits. Another Dream Eater onto the Azumarill. Finish off with the Shadow Ball. And we have a 4 KO. Now, I really wanted the 5 on, but I'm going to go back a tiny bit again. So we missed Dream Eater on Mewtwo right here, but I kind of feel pressure now to do something. So Unite move. And first, again, I'm looking first for scenarios. If I go up right here into the Ninetales, I'm pretty much gone. So I go behind the enemy team, I hit a Dream Eater, Shadow Ball, port in, press Unite. And while I'm pressing Unite, I know that Ninetales will be my next target. So we Dream Eater Ninetales with the Shadow Ball. And then we get a reset, because we, of course, got Ninetales. And then just going for the Azumarill next. Weaving in some boosted auto attacks, because my cooldowns were not really up yet. And then I get kind of greedy right here. That was a bit annoying, trying to go for this Metagross. But you guys know, like, I have to go for every 5 KO, right? Like, I have to go for it. And I might have even had enough damage. It was very close, but he crits me right here. If I could have played it better, though. So what I could have done is, I Dream Eater Shadow Ball, right? Dream Eater Shadow Ball, and I just do the Shadow Ball and instantly eject button away. But he instantly stunned me with Zen Headbutt, which I didn't expect. Then I Shadow Ball, I want to eject button right now, and then I get taken down. And I'm gone for 43 seconds, so I have to just hope my team wins it. And I don't remember. My team wins it. My team gets Ray. But yeah, those are the scenarios. Gotta be careful. I had a 44-second death timer. This can happen on Gengar. Like, this is... Sometimes you might want to think about resetting your death timer, but you also give over a lot of experience doing so. So yeah. Definitely a bit of a mistake right here. I could have just played it more patiently, but I wanted the 5 KO. I should have not went for it. but I hope this was still a good showcase of a game. Now we're jumping into a Hex game, not just any Hex game. Hex Gengar down in bot path. Of course, Central Area will still be better, but I think it's definitely a build that can be played in bottom path. We have the Shell Bell, of course, with a Choice Specs and Spoon, and full heal. Really very important, so you get your Hexes out. And honestly, early phase, early game of Ghastly is not even all too bad. And on level 5, you just get very strong. So you could try and get to level 5. Of course, against Lucario, quite difficult. But I actually do get this last hit, which is very, very important, just for this early game. As I'm just looking to last it with my Will-O-Wisp if I can. And just looking for maybe a Lick KO on someone. And we actually get Lucario. I do go down to the Shenzi. But that's already a fine trade, especially against Lucario Blissey, where we are definitely, you know, not favored. Lick it into the bush. Get the last hit with my Goodra. As we try to get to level 5. Again, as fast as possible, of course. And we can really start doing a lot of work. Lucario goes for the score, so I go for the Ataria. Trying to go for the big Ataria, and I do get it. There we go, level 5. And now we can start hexing on Lucario. And we already get the KO. Now, you know, lane Hex Gengar. Some people might doubt it. I do think. I even have improved by Toonslim. Toonslim approved of some lane Hex Gengar. That it can definitely work. Even like in ranked. It's something you can definitely play without griefing your team too much. But of course, jungle will always be better because jungling is just overpowered, right? Not a big surprise. But you can't always jungle. You know, it's just not always possible. So, Will-O-Wisp, and then we just Dream Eater. Dream Eater, I mean Hex, not Dream Eater, Hex. Pretty simple, there we go. Big double KO, right we hit our Will-O-Wisp, it burns them, and then we just kind of spam Hex as much as we can. Now we're level 7 already, and we're winning against a Lucario lane, which is, yeah, pretty decent. And our junglers here, not much to do right now. Letting maybe Goodra get some XP, but actually you won't get away still anyways. It's still annoying how much XP Goodra needs as well to like be a Pokemon actually. Now even with XP share, Goodra would be awful to play, I feel like. Can maybe dive the go right here, and we just spam Hex. We're just gonna be careful someone gets lower, but right now you can just spam it. Blissey does outrun it a bit, then the Flux down. If you play on mobile, you can definitely aim Hex more, but on controller, I wouldn't recommend aiming Hex too much. Unless it's like, so when you're like trying to hit a white Pokemon and the enemies are getting close, then of course the auto aim is going to target the enemies over the white Pokemon, right? Then you can have to like maybe be careful and aim. Otherwise, I kind of just spam Hex. If I know it's going to hit and no one else is around, I will just spam Hex. If I see enemies coming close that have like less HP, or I'm hitting white Pokemon and enemies are coming close, then I definitely start trying to aim Hex. Now, great objective rip as well, of course. Gotta outplay the Regirock a bit though, does hurt a lot. And we can just spam our Hex on it. Another Sludge Bomb. Just make sure you always reapply your poison. Especially also early game on Will-O-Wisp, because it doesn't last as long as Sludge Bomb does. Very important you keep track on how often or how long the enemies are still burned and poisoned. In Hex and Sludge Bomb, I would not always go for these kind of Unite moves, honestly. The best way to use Unite move is to just, in case you get into a bad position, kind of like a escape tool. I would use it in Hex Gengar more often, but right now I just want to get to top lane fast. There's no team fight happening, right? We get a free KO on Miraidon and we clear the Regieleki, so that was totally fine. But in general, when you play Hex and Sludge Bomb, I would recommend using it as a safety tool. You know, you jump in with Sludge Bomb Hex, something goes bad, you press Unite, you can wait for your cooldowns or your next Hex and do so again. That's how I would usually recommend doing it. But of course you can just, you know, depending on what the enemies are doing, you can always adjust yourself. And if you see, you know, if you get into a fight with Unite and they don't see it coming, both of course are totally fine. So we're in level 10 now. Going for the Sludge Bomb here onto Blissey. Gotta be careful here with auto aiming because Gardevoir is a bit low on HP. So I'm just gonna Hex out. Don't want to expend too much. But if Gardevoir keeps on chasing, I might even go for her. Healing a bit. Not all too much. I really don't want to recoil, so I'm gonna take the blue buff. Blue buff is great on Hex Gengar. Log the cooldown of Hex, the more you can spam it. At some point it becomes so fast, you shouldn't... So you can always use, of course, a boost auto attack, right? As I explained, you can use a boost auto attack in between every Hex. But at some points the Hex becomes so fast that I wouldn't even recommend doing it anymore. Here I'm still doing it. Boost auto attack there onto Blissey. Get the KO. Waiting for my cooldowns again. Always waiting for my Sludge Bomb. And now we just spam Hex. We just spam it. Go into the Toy Grass, otherwise I don't have vision. And I just spam Hex, Hex, Hex. Waiting for my next Sludge Bomb before Hex or the poison runs out. And Trevenant gets outplayed with the full heal and has absolutely no chance. Sorry, in those scenarios I would just spam Hex over and over again. But just make sure again you pay attention to your poison. So I'm gonna wait for the enemies to walk in. What objective is up? Looking for Lucario. Sludge Bomb, Hex, and almost lost vision right here. This could have been close. I was kind of scary now, so I used my Unite move, which I was maybe a bit too started there. But we just take Miraidon out easily with it. And now we can just do the same thing on Trevenant again that we did earlier. Just make sure I stay in the tall grass, because if he goes in there, otherwise I might lose vision. And yeah, he just gets hexed. No chance. We get a 3 KO very easily. As Lucario walks up again. This time I'm not sure if I want to jump onto it, but I do. Let's go wait for his dash. His dash is gone. I hex him again. And he goes down. Pretty good hex game so far for lane Gengar. I'm level 13 in 6 minutes of game time. As we now rip through the Regieleki. Oh, here's the auto aim, for example. Gardevoir walked up and I was auto aiming onto the Regieleki. And the moment Gardevoir walks up, I pressed it, expecting to go on the Regieleki and just went on Gardevoir. So those are scenarios that can be sometimes annoying if you don't even know enemies are there. Because we had no idea, of course, Gardevoir was there. Yeah, that was just unfortunate. Just walked over the tall grass, I got vision on Gardevoir, my auto aim instantly flies onto the Gardevoir, and that could have been bad. Taking a blue buff again. This time from my own jungler. Getting some boost auto attacks in, of course, why not? Especially at level 5 though. At level 5 you really want to use boosted auto attacks as much as you can. It's similar to Dream Eater Shadow Ball. Those boosted auto attacks in early game, in the first 5 minutes, are super important. Later on, not as much, but early game, they are the key to just getting those KOs done and, you know, putting in some more damage numbers. So very important that you boost auto attack in early game. Alright, heading now almost into the final stretch. Make sure we never Unite move right here. As we take the Bite Toy. Just take some stuff away from them, almost level 14. Hexing here onto Trevenant is kind of scary, so I'm not going for it. But now that he has no cooldowns, used his Horn Leech and his Wood Hammer, I was decided to go for him. Just gonna hex out. But you can always also hex out. You always have to hex in. It's also a great escape, right? Low cooldown, just like Dive Crimorant. You can always just hex back out. And yeah, the enemies are just walking up right now. Gonna recall and then get ready for the final fight. Take the blue buff because I really want it for this final fight. Be level 14 as lane Hex Gengar. I could pressure backcap right here and Unite move in, but I'm just gonna look for a flank on my enemies. Looking for a flank. It's already looking quite bad. Actually, we already lost one. Sludge Bomb, flank here onto Gardevoir goes down instantly. I just spam my Hex now onto the Blissey. I know I have no Sludge Bomb on Miraidon, so I'm not gonna use it again. So we try to hex to safety bit. Force use my Unite move now. And then we just go in with a Hex Unite move onto the Miraidon. Doing another Sludge Bomb bit in, waiting for my Hex to come back up. And we completely carry this fight. And now we can just go onto Ray. I'm not sure why my Hex didn't reset right here. And we can just spam Hex. Hex. You can also use boost auto attacks right here, which I'm still kind of doing. But don't really have to. But if you can, of course, you should. And there we go. Very nice Hex Gengar game. 16 KOs in bot path. I really hope you guys enjoyed this guide. It makes you want to play Gengar. I hope it does, because Gengar is one of my favorite Pokemon in the entire game. And I actually don't like playing against it though, so maybe don't play Gengar. But no, I hope this is going to make you play some Gengar. And I will see you guys in the next Ultimate Guide. Bye!